Hey guys, it's Nicole. Welcome back to Chronicles of a Crafter. So today we're going to do a new stitch. It's called the corset stitch, and basically it's how the bind of the journal is going to be held together. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this stitch first, and then we'll work on the actual journal itself, and then we'll have to do the binding all over again. But I just wanted to show you guys how to go ahead and do this this binding prior to making the entire journal. So here I have some chipboard. I guess you guys know what chipboard is. It's a little bit thicker than cardboard. It's very dense, and it's thinner, but it's thinner than cardboard depending on the cardboard that you use. I mean, if you're using corrugated cardboard, of course it's going to be a little bit thinner than that, but if you're using cereal boxes, it's thicker than that. So that's what chipboard sounds like. It's some sort of a composite of paper that really sturdy. Okay, so you crafters out there know what chipboard is. Let's do the stitch. So what I've decided to do here is called a corset stitch, and now my ribbon is a little bit twisted as I go down, but here I'll zoom you guys in so you can see what the stitch actually looks like. So this is what this stitch is. It looks like tying a shoe lace, perhaps, right? But it's called a corset stitch because if you know what a corset is, it's tied up very similar to this, right? And then it's tied in a bow at the bottom. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It gives enough room for the pages in the journal to flex, and it gives the the cover and the spine a little bit of wiggle room. Okay, so you can tighten it as much as you like, and you'll have the same effect. It'll still give it just a little bit of a little give, but what you really want to do is get your laces or your ribbon really nice and straight in the process. So once you're done, you get down here to the bottom without tying the bow. That's when you want to turn your ribbon around and get all those little sections nice and flat. This is the way I'm doing it. I'm sure there's a proper way to do it. I'm sure there's another way to do it, but I'm doing it this way. I use 2 needles and piece of ribbon. I basically just cut the ribbon to length, so it's basically I want to say maybe 3 or 4 times the height of the book, of the actual cover of the book that you're making. And yeah, you just use 2 needles like so. These are 2 darning needles, so they won't poke me at all, but they have large eyes, so my ribbon is able to fit into the eye of the needle. And then just like a pair of shoes, you start here at the top. A pair of sneakers or J's or whatever you guys wear, tennis shoes, or yeah, you just start here at the top and you pull both your needles through, and you will lose your needle. Your needle will drop your ribbon every so often. It's not a big deal as long as you get it through the hole, but yeah, just know that you will unthread your ribbon every so often. So you just pop it back in, because this is not a science, this is an art. So just like you would your shoes, you want to make sure that the laces are both facing in the same downward position, and they're ready to go into the next 2 holes. So you crisscross them, and one will go over here, and the other one will go to the other side, just like so. And you do this all the way down, right? So it's just like, again, it's exactly like lacing up your shoes. And then you end up with this really beautiful corset stitch down the center or on either side of the book spine. And then you can put in your signature holes to put in your signatures. So I just need to rethread my needle here, because again, you will lose it every so often. It will fall apart. So all I do is I crisscross them, stick one through one side, and Just basically get it all the way in there, and then do the other side the same way. By crisscrossing it ahead of time, you're basically avoiding the confusion of whether or not you crisscrossed it. So I just use that crisscross method right at the very beginning before I start to thread the second hole. So there we go. And as you can see, my ribbon is twisting. So as I go down, I want to untwist that ribbon and make sure that that it's nice and straight. So yeah, you're just going to keep going down to the next side, crisscross, pass it through here, and pull it nice and tight, and then do the other side. Of course, I lost my ribbon out of the eye of the needle already, so let's just go ahead and pop that back in, and it was already crisscrossed, so I'll just pull that through like so. Okay, and you just keep doing this all the way down till you get to the bottom, and then you end up with something that looks just like this. Very pretty, very nice and straight, and yeah, it's gonna make a really nice journal cover. Let's go ahead and cover up the journal itself. And by doing so, what I mean, we're going to start from scratch. Here's my measured journal covers. Okay, and this will be my spine. This is a 1.5 inch spine that I'm using, and my book cover actually measures 5 3/4 by 6. Right, it's right on the 6. Yeah, so 5 3/4 by 6. And what I'm doing is I'm taking my little ruler here. At first I did just measured it against my mat, which worked out pretty good. Like it's fine. But then I want to take my centimeter ruler and measure inward 1/2 centimeter. So I counted up 1, 2, 3 and put a mark right there. 1, 2, 3, put a mark right there. 1, 2, 3, put a mark right there. So I'm just using these quarter marks on my mat to give me the measurements for the actual location of the holes. But then I need to come into the center, towards the center, by 1/2 centimeter. So wherever I place that first mark, right here, let me just slide you over. Wherever I place that first mark, I'm going to come in 1/2 centimeter. So that's where I'm going to put my hole for the for lacing. Okay, again, here I just placed it at the edge of the ruler and came in 1/2 centimeter. So although you will have 2 marks on there, you know you're going to be using the second one in for your for the holes that you're going to punch. And you can use a crocodile, you can use an awl. I believe an awl should be able to go through this chipboard, but I'll be using my big crocodile to punch these holes. My little crocodile is not currently available. It's out in Arizona, but I believe that should also work just fine as well. So I'm just going in 1/2 centimeter from the original mark that I made from the end of the book or the cover, and putting a little mark right in there. And here's the last one. So basically I just measured up, or I'm sorry, I just measured up on the book cover every 3 notches here. And you can lay out your book however you want and measure yours, you know, stagger yours however you like. Let me find my, oh, here it is, my little crocodile. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my 1/8 inch setting and just pop holes in here just as I would any other journal cover. So now I have this. I'm going to line these 2 up just like that. Did I zoom you all the way back out? No, I didn't. Okay, so I'm going to line these 2 up and then just put the mark from the holes that I made with my crocodile, and then I'll punch the holes for the second side of the cover. So Okay, so those two should line up pretty evenly. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the spine. So I'm just going to take my original cover and line this up on one edge of the spine. Okay, and then I'm going to place another set of holes on the opposite side because we want 2 laces going down the spine. So now all of our holes line up nice and evenly on both ends of on both sides of the cover. So yeah, the only thing left to do is wrap this in fabric, and then we're going to have to punch the holes a second time, and you can probably do that with an awl, or you can just feel around and punch it again with the crocodile. Because it's spring, we already turned our clocks forward. I'm going to use this pretty spring-esque fabric. I have a coordinating fabric as well, so I'll probably use this on the outside and this on the inside, or vice versa. I'll probably use this on the outside. Yeah, I'll use this one on the outside. So let's go ahead and wrap this chipboard in fabric, and of course you know how to do that, so I'll just, you know. Alright, so here comes the tricky part, right? So, you know, we have holes underneath the fabric. I just basically ran my awl down the side here, and wherever I felt a divot, I just punched through with my awl, and then I marked it with my Sharpie. Okay, so I put a little mark right there, and then I just dragged my awl down until I found the next hole and marked it with the Sharpie. Go down to the next hole, and so on, because obviously we've already wrapped this with fabric and we wouldn't be able to find the holes otherwise. So this is basically how I go about doing it. Again, I'm sure there is a way more intelligent way to do it. So anyway, you get the idea. You just go all the way down on all of your pieces until you find all the holes to stitch together this whole project, and then you go back through with your crocodile, or if your awl is sharp enough, you can go all the way through. But it shouldn't be too difficult to do because the hole already exists, right? So all we're doing really is just punching the same hole, just going through 2 sections of fabric. Well, I figured another way that I want to lace this spine using a little bit thicker ribbon as opposed to the very thin ribbon that I showed you in the prototype. Basically, and also we're not using 2 needles because this is also very thick. Sorry for the glare, it's just that time of day where the sun is casting a shadow or something on my desk. So basically what I want to do is go up through one side of the spine and then come back down through the other side, just like you would do lacing up a shoe or something like that, because again, it is a corset stitch, but it can also be a shoelace stitch, you know. Corset just sounds better. So yeah, I just wrapped a piece of tape around the end of my ribbon, and I'm just gonna go all the way up on one side and then come down on the other. So in order to do that, I'm gonna have to skip every other one. So let me just see if I can get you guys in focus here. So I'm currently just sent my my ribbon through this one bottom hole right here. I'm going to then skip over to the other side, skipping this bottom hole and going up to the second hole, going across to the third hole on the right, and then over to the fourth hole on the left, and then so on and so on. Also, what did I do? Oh, I inked I inked my project. So yeah, it's just one side. You can see the difference in the shade. So this is just a little bit of vintage photo that I inked around here, and this is just the plain fabric, the white fabric, you know, the white background. So yeah, by inking it, it does give it a bit of an aged look, and I like that a lot. So that's what I did to both the spine section and the front or the back cover, depending on which side you want it to be. So again, it's just a matter of skipping the next hole directly across from the one that you just laced and going up to the top, or you know, the one above. And I'm just pulling through again, just a little bit thicker ribbon, which is why this process, it just takes a little bit of finagling. So yeah, anyway guys, I mean, you can totally, here I'll back you up a little, you can totally, and oh my gosh, the sun is looking even more crazy. It's my blinds. The sun is really coming through now. But yeah, you can totally just lace it up on one side. You don't have to come back down the other side if you want. I mean, we could have just done a staggered lacing and not even do the other side, but it's perfectly fine. Everything's fine. And I'm just looking in the back here for the hole that I need to go into next. And some of these, I mean, if they ever get you know, blocked up either by paper or fabric, just use your awl if you have an awl, if not a pokey tool, and just reopen up those holes. You know, it's really not that difficult to do. So again, I'm just going all the way up on one side, coming back down on the other side. And for this section, because I want my laces up here, can you see that? I apologize guys, the light is bad. For the lace up here, I want it to be on the outside. So I go back in through the back side and I bring it through on the front side and then cross it over this way. Okay. So, I mean, you're going to want to know how much ribbon to use. It's, you know, it's your preference. However, I did not take any measurement. I'm just pulling it directly off the spool, and we'll see if I have enough or if I need some more. This way I don't really waste any. So, yeah, I'm just gonna finish this up right here, and then we'll tie it into a pretty little bow just like we did on the other side. So as I reach the bottom, I have enough left over to tie a bow right here, which is what I'll do. I cut away the excess ribbon cut away the part that has the little taped edge. And then you can tighten everything up and tie it in a little bow. So this can then become either the top or the bottom of your book if you like the look of it down at the bottom. That's so cute, right? Or if you want it to be up here at the top and have that hang over either in the front or the back of the book. That's pretty cute also. I like that a lot, right? So yeah, this is just basically another way of doing a binding for your junk journals. It's called a corset stitch, and I hope you guys give this a try. From here, I'm just going to add a hidden spine. I'll ink the rest of this. So this is my my vintage photo. And what I did, besides just vintage photo, I went ahead and just darkened the corners of the book where it would be handled more. And you can also put a book cap on there if you like. That's fine as well. That'll work. So yeah. And you can even, like, if you're using this type of ribbon, you can also just add a little ink on the ribbon as well. And yeah. So anyway, guys, give this a try. Let me know down in the comments below if you've done this before, if you've done this stitch before. Some ribbons, again, do work better than others. So again, one of these satiny ribbons would work a lot better than the crocheted ribbon that I'm using. But and also a thinner ribbon, of course, would work a lot better. So you can do it one of two ways, again, with the double lacing of the two needles, or you can lace it like a shoe and just go up one side and down the other by skipping one other side of the holes. So yeah. Alright guys, I'm gonna leave you right here. I hope you guys have a smashing day. Like, go do something wonderful. And yeah, I'll talk to you in the next video. Stay naturally curious. Bye.